Is any of this real, or are we all just schizophrenic? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Moon Days with Michael. I'm your host, the Raw Triangle Michael, and I am cutting out the esoteric middleman and giving you tools you need to connect yourself right to the source. Meditation, dreams, viewing different spirits and spaces. Why do we view things the way that we do? Why do things look the way that they look? And why does it feel maybe made up at times? Because it is. What? Our 3D minds can only view so much, and it finds some kind of way to interpret what it sees in a way that could be relatable to us and a way for us to understand what we're seeing or interpret the messages that we're receiving. But this is why spiritual messages can be sometimes hard to understand.
Ain't that the truth, son?
Because it might feel made up at times. Other times, we can just be really dumb. Now, when it comes to actually interpreting things that we see in meditation, dreams, messages from spirits, you have to remember not to try to force your mind to look at things and view things in a certain way. Rather, just let your mind wander with direction, of course, carefully.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. No, it doesn't!
And just let your mind interpret what it sees and what messages it's receiving, and you can analyze it later. However, if you start trying to force your mind to look at something in a certain way or to view a certain message, you might not. You might mess it up. You might lose that image that you're even trying to view. So analyze it later. Now, when it comes time to actually interpreting different messages, different spirits, different spaces that we're trying to view in dreams, meditation, whatever it is, sometimes it can be really simple, other times not so much. The important thing is, though, don't try to force a message when there is no message. However, there is one thing to keep in mind. Any kind of message, anything that you're viewing in the astral realm or meditating or dreams is a message meant for you. And because of that, the interpretation is, of course, up to you. Now, you can always tell someone and get a second opinion, of course. However, be careful with who you tell. That being said, let's give a couple examples and give you the tools you need to start actually interpreting or understanding spiritual messages, dreams, and meditation. Anytime you're dreaming about something or meditating, whatever your mind sees, sometimes can be quite difficult to understand. So for example, if you're in a car, right? If you get into a car accident, there's a few things you'd want to pay attention to in that dream or meditation. Who you're with, what car is it, and what you were doing. If you're getting in the passenger seat into someone else's car and that car crashes, maybe you might not want to actually go along for an esoteric ride with this person, place, or thing. But person, because, you know, person drives the car.
No shit, Sherlock.
Or maybe you get into a car and you head to some dope party. You should probably hang out with that person more. But of course, the interpretation is up to you. A very simple way to look at this would also be angels and demons. Angels are viewed as having wings, feathers, and flying, and usually represent high thoughts, high vibrations, righteous feeling. But why is this? Do those spirits actually look like that? Well, no, because spirits have no shape and form. But our mind interprets it that way for us to actually understand that, oh, this is a being that has been elevated, a being that actually has some knowledge and wisdom, has been through some shit, and actually has gotten to a better space. On the other hand, a demon, someone who has, you know, scales, leathery wings, tails, horns, very animalistic, is to show you that idea, thought, person, vibration, whatever it is, represents a very low animalistic idea. However, with that being said, there's a caveat here, and that sometimes demons will appear in the most beautiful forms ever to try to get you lost. So keep that in mind. Again, interpretation is up to you. Context matters. If you're moving slow in the astral realm or in a dream, that means that you might be in a very low vibrational state and you can't really control your astral body as well. But if you're flying, you're flying. What else do I need to say? You're on top of the world right now. Another common message people will see, especially those who are clairvoyant, is orbs or different color, or maybe sounds if you're clairaudient. Different colors have different meanings, especially when you see them in orbs. Context matters. What were you thinking about? What were you doing when you saw that message? Or if you're in a dream and you're being attacked by a wild animal that's a bunch of different colors, what are those colors? If it's purple, it could symbolize royalty or guilt. If it's red, it could be aggression or passion. If it's pink, it could be love or being lost into love. If it's yellow, it could have something to do with communication. Here's a cheat sheet right there. Now, sounds can be a little bit different. If you're in a dream or meditation having a conversation and you can't exactly hear what's going on, then this could mean a couple things. One, you could already know the answer, so it's like a track on repeat. Why am I going to tell you something that you already know? Or maybe it's because you've been searching for an answer that you aren't quite ready to hear yet. You could also be having dreams about different animals. Foxes, crows, bears, tigers, lions, wolves. Spirit animals exist for a reason. Now, some spirit or you, your higher self, is taking the form of an animal to actually teach you a lesson or show you something that you need to learn. Now, while this interpretation is up to you and context does matter, spirit animals or seeing animals and different messages have been around for ever. But these are just a few examples. It depends on the context. Also depends on what intention you had going into that meditation or that dream state that you have entered. Depending on the intention could dictate what kind of messages that you are receiving. So, is any of this real? Yes and no. Your mind uses the tools that it has in order for it to actually interpret different messages from spirits or your higher self in any kind of meditation or dream state. Even a song coming on at a certain time could be a message for you depending on what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're vibrating at. So pay attention to your surroundings. However, don't try to overindulge and force a message when there is no message. But until next time, fly high, y'all.